Hi everyone, so it is time for the first Sew Your Stash update video, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you want to click the information icon up there and watch the original Sew Your Stash video where I launched a challenge that I've taken on and a lot of you have joined me in to spend this year sewing as much of your fabric stash or your yarn stash or whatever you have and just using up what we've had hanging around for too long. This can also include finishing up your works in progress or just whatever you want to translate it to. And now it has been going great. I launched the Facebook group since the last video, and if you haven't had a chance to check out the Facebook group yet, there will be a link down below for that. And so many of you have shared your pictures of your honest sewing spaces, your stashes, and also what you're working on. Some people have been sharing some great just some inspiration in different tutorials and things that they found, and it has been so awesome. So I personally have already used up 2 entire bags of fabric scraps, and that has been awesome because one of my probably big problems is that I just want to hang on to like every little scrap that I think is possibly big enough to use. I've gotten a little better over the years, but I still tend to hang on to a lot of scraps, and so it's been really great to get to use some of them up, and that is what I really want to talk most about in this video today. So the first thing I did just right off the bat to start using up scraps was I wanted to work on some quilt squares, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do at first. I thought about improv piecing or maybe just some kind of log cabin style piecing, but I decided that I was going to get too hung up in either with improv piecing, like trying to make them all look different or trying to pick colors that went together and things like that. So I decided to make it no-brainer, just quick and easy. So what I did was I separated all of my scraps out by color. And I picked all the pieces that were at least like 8.5 inches long by like 1.25 inches or more. So they could be like skinny strips or wider strips. It didn't matter. I just separated them all out by color and went from there. And so what I did was I just sewed one strip to the other, to the other, to the other of all like the same color type. So like all purples or all blues. And then as soon as it was at least an 8-inch square, I just grabbed a square ruler and I trimmed it up to be an exact 8-inch square. So now you're probably wondering, okay, what are you going to do with these blocks? I don't know yet, but it got me in my sewing room, it got me busy, it got me working on something, and it took my scraps from excuse me, it took my scraps from just being stuffed in a plastic Ziploc bag to something that I can now use for some project. And I can use them for an actual quilt, like I could put several of them together and make like a baby quilt for a gift, or I could use a couple of them and make a bag, or like my featured block tote bag, I could, you know, piece around it and make it like a focal point for a bag. I'll have that video linked up here, by the way. So there's just lots of things that you can do from pre-made blocks, and so I can draw inspiration from these later or just start them as a jumping off point for, like I said, like a baby quilt or something. And so to me it is better to have these like pre-worked on blocks than just bags of scraps that I'm looking at going like, should I even save these? You know, now I have something that is definitely usable. So some other things that you can do are string piecing, paper piecing, or improv piecing. These are all really great ways to use scraps. And I will actually create like a little playlist of some examples of tutorials for all of those different types of piecing if you want to check them out. And I'll link that up there as well. Because those are all great ways to quickly use up your scraps and accomplish something. Now the second bag of scraps that I used up was flannel. I had an entire bag of flannel pieces that were like different squares and rectangles and things that I had been given. And I didn't really know what to do with them. They were a lot of different prints and a lot of different sizes, and I thought about like piecing them together, making like a little doll quilt or something for Peyton, but I finally decided, after a few people had suggested it, to make cloth pads, like feminine hygiene pads. And I had never made any before, but I owned a few, and so I used one of them I already owned to create a pattern, and it was easy to figure out how to make them. So I just, you know, threw them together. It was really easy, and so I made a few, got my confidence up, you know, got everything worked out on how to make them, and then from there I made a new pattern, because the first one was just kind of a, like, regular size and everything. And so then I made a pattern for, like, more of an overnight pad, I guess. And then made a couple of those, and then I made another pattern. So I actually, I have 4 patterns now, I believe. I haven't made any yet with the 4th pattern. I'm still working on those. So I've made 8 total, and that used all of my flannel scraps and then 2 of the microfiber towels that I used in my cloth diaper inserts. I had a few of those left, so I grabbed 2 of those and used them on the pads, and then I have 3 more that I've got, like, partially cut out that I'm gonna make. So yeah, that is a really great project for using up, like, flannel scraps and different things. I'm also putting a layer of PUL inside it as like a waterproof layer. So these were easy to make and obviously useful. They're going to save me money by using them. So yeah, that was a successful project that I had never tried before, but it was a complete success, and I am so glad I gave them a try. So thank you to everyone who suggested it. So besides using those 2 bags of scraps, I also, since sharing my challenge, have made a handful of bags. I made 1 large zipper bag to keep all of my cloth pads in, and a couple of PUL wet bag type things to use with them as well. And then the most notable one is I have made a couple of lined zipper bags that are a take off of my old 5-minute zipper bag. I figured out a way to completely line them and still keep them in the easy to sew style of the 5-minute zipper bag. And I shared that tutorial just a couple of days ago. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you definitely should, because I'm very proud of it. There was so many requests for a lined version, and for a long time I was like, I don't know how to do that and finish all the raw edges inside. And then it just dawned on me one day, and I tried it and it worked out, and I'm so proud. And making those lined 5-minute zipper bag type things is a great stash buster, because you now use 2 fabrics at a time. You can make them any size you want, depending on what you want to use it for, and they're fast to make. They make great gifts. You can put gifts inside them as well. So they're just really quick and easy to make and perfect for using lots of your stash. And speaking of stash busters, since a lot of you are working with me on this challenge, I know you all are looking for some inspiration for different projects that you can make. So I created a playlist that is full of a lot of different projects that either are quick and easy to make. So if you just have a few minutes, you can run in your sewing room or your sewing corner or whatever it is and whip something up. And then some of them are projects that use a little more material so that you can use more of your stash up at one time. So it's just a fun playlist that's a mix of a bunch of different types of tutorials. That will be linked up there as well. I haven't been getting as much time to sew lately as I would like. So I only get basically nap time now for sewing, and so I have to decide every day, am I going to sew today, or am I going to edit, or you know, work on YouTube stuff, or what? So I haven't been getting to sew quite as much as I want to, but you all are blowing me away with how much you're getting done, and so that is awesome. I do have a ton of projects planned that are coming up that are using lots of different things for my stash. I'm very excited about it. So I guess that's all I have for this update. let me know in the comments if you have certain things that you want me to talk about in these Sew Your Stash updates. I really don't know what all I should talk about or show. So yeah, let me know. And don't forget to check out all the links that I have up here, as well as the Facebook group in the description box down below. I'm excited. I have been enjoying this challenge, and all these Sew Your Stash videos, by the way, are going in a playlist that you can find over here to the side. And also, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. You can do so by clicking my picture right there. And I will be back Wednesday with a new tutorial, and then in a week or two with a new Sew Your Stash update. So yeah.